Your favorite rod in Roblox Fish says something about you as a person. And from being an OG of Fish to being an absolute no-life, we're going to be going over the 28 most popular rods and what they say about you. Anyways, let's get right into it. Subscribe for more. First up, we have one of the most OG GOAT rods of the game, the flimsy rod. And if this is your favorite rod, it means you probably just started fishing. So, yeah, good luck with that. But if your favorite rod is the steady rod, it means you've also recently started fishing, but you're kind of getting into the game right now. I mean, me personally, when I got the steady rod, that's when I knew, oh my gosh, I'm gonna no-life this game forever. So if you have this rod, this is your last chance to turn back before becoming an official no-life. But if your favorite rod is the Arctic rod, it means you either don't know that it got nerfed, or for some reason you still really liked it even if it got nerfed. And if that's you, then you're a real one. You didn't switch up on it. But the next rod is a little bit similar to this, the avalanche rod. If the avalanche rod is your favorite rod, it means you really miss the Arctic rod and you wish it was back to how it used to be. The next rod is another rod you can get in the Northern Expedition, the crystallized rod. If this is genuinely your favorite rod, I know it's because you love the freaking crystallized mutation, and I like it too. But yeah, that's the only thing I can really say about this rod. It's not that good besides the mutation. But if your favorite rod is the depth seeker rod, it means, you know, you're grinding in Fish, you're doing your thing, and you're getting the right rod, because the depth seeker rod is really good for progression. So if you have this rod, you can call yourself a little bit smart. But if you have this next rod, you might be smarter than them all. The brick rod is probably one of the most complicated rods in the game. You have to find codes, you have to do all that yabba dabba do. So if you have the brick rod, it means you're absolutely an intellectual, okay? You passed the test. But if you have this next rod, which is the king's rod, it means you either really wish it got buffed, or, you know, you just miss it. I mean, this rod used to be a beast back in the day. It definitely isn't anymore. But yeah, if this is your favorite rod, you definitely want it to be buffed. This next rod definitely does not need a buff. It is the champion's rod. And honestly, I would say basically the same thing I did about the depth seeker rod. If you have this one, you're a little bit smart, because this is a really good rod to progress with if you want to become a pro, yabba dabba do. And similar to the king's rod, the next rod, the trident rod. Bro, if you have this rod, you're a freaking OG. Not even if you have it. If this is your favorite rod, you're a freaking OG. I mean, I love this rod. I don't know if it was my favorite, but definitely 100%. If this is your favorite rod, you're either an OG or you just really like the way it looks. And I'm on that boat too. Okay, guys, I'm gonna give you a hint for the next rod. Look at that. Yeah, I'm talking about the volcanic rod. If this is your favorite rod in Fish, it means you probably just recently started playing the game and just got into the Mariana's Veil and was like, wow, this is a really good rod. Let me get this. And hey, if I was you, I'd probably do the same thing. This is a pretty good rod for beginners. But this next rod holds a very special heart. What am I saying? This next rod holds a very special place in my heart. I'm talking about the rod of the depths. This was literally like my second video, a tutorial on making the rod of the depths. And if you have this rod, not only are you an OG, you're a freaking Giga Chad, but you're also a little bit lonely because you walk around all day with a ghost following you. I mean, that's a little bit rough, but it is what it is. On to the next one, and this one has become very popular recently, the rod of the exalted one. If this is your favorite rod in all of Fish, it means you love catching yourself some exalted relics. I mean, who doesn't? Exalted relics are really cool and also cool looking. So that's all I can say about this rod. But if this rod, by this rod, I mean the Destiny rod, is your favorite rod, you are just sitting in the Discord server, sitting and waiting for them to buff this rod, and you're probably the biggest Destiny rod fan in the entire world. A lot of people absolutely love this rod. I don't know why. I mean, I get it's the highest luck rod in the game, but I'm guessing you guys are just waiting for a buff. And speaking about buff, if you have this next rod, you need a freaking nerf, because I can't even get this rod. I'm talking about the Auric rod. Honestly, if this is your favorite rod, it means you're really lucky because you somehow pulled it out of a sunken chest off of like a 0.5% chance. So congratulations to you for being a very lucky guy or girl, who knows. Now this next rod only costs $1 million. I'm talking about the Abyssal Spectre rod. If you have this rod, it does say something. It says that you were probably grinding to get one of the really cool Atlantis rods like the Zeus rod or the Poseidon's rod, and you got to $1 million and you were like, I'm kind of tired of this. Let me just buy one of the ones I can buy. And yeah, that's probably how you got this rod. But speaking about Atlantis rods, if you have the Zeus rod, it means that you are not a type of person to switch up, all right? You're a very loyal person. Let me explain why. This rod used to be proclaimed the best money-making rod in the entire game. And honestly, it was. And now it's still really good. So if you can see that it's still really good after getting nerfed, I mean, I wouldn't even call it a nerf. They kind of just fixed it because it was glitched. But if you are one to stick around after the nerf and still have it be your favorite rod, you're a very loyal person, and I respect that. And speaking about respect, if you use this next rod, I absolutely respect you. I'm talking about the Challenger's rod. This is one of the best XP rods in the game. What the heck just happened? As you can see, I literally have never, like, it's an insta-catch. I don't even think I'm using bait. Oh wait, I definitely was using bait. Anyways, all right, if you have the Challenger's rod, you are definitely a grinder, okay? I'm not gonna say you're no life yet because you technically don't have one of you know what rods, but if you have the Challenger's rod, it means you're an XP grinder. All right, on to the next one. The next one is an Atlantis rod, the Tempest rod. Honestly, I can say similar things to this rod than the Challenger's rod because this is a really good rod for grinding XP. But to be completely honest, if this is genuinely your favorite rod, you're probably the type of person to be a little bit upset because ever since the Challenger's rod came into the game, the Tempest rod just isn't what it used to be. But anyways, the next rod is the Poseidon's rod. And honestly, if you like this rod, you really like money because the passive ability basically just gives you free money. So that's all I can really say about this rod. Or you really like Baka blocks or Bacha blocks or whatever his name is. I heard that's his favorite rod. Anyways, this next one I absolutely hate with all of my heart. All right, it's the Heavens rod. Okay, it's really lucky, but it's freaking slow. I don't hate you if you have the rod because it basically just means you really like catching rare fish like exotics like megalodons, orcas, krakens, and things like that. So that's all I can really say about this rod. You like being lucky. And speaking about being lucky, matter of fact, that has nothing to do with the rod I'm about to talk about, but I'm talking about the Kraken rod. If you like this rod, I know you're a ride or die for this rod because every time I even say something slightly negative about the Kraken rod, I get flamed in the comment section. So Kraken rod definitely has a lot of fans. And speaking about a lot of fans, this rod has one big fan, and by big fan, I'm talking about myself, all right? The no life rod. Yes, I wouldn't use it anymore, but it's still my favorite rod because it's freaking cool. Like, look at it. It shines red. It has a glow. Honestly, all I can say, if this is your favorite rod, you've got insane aura. All right, insane aura. On to the next one. That was a little bit biased, but anyways, the next one is the rod of the Forgotten Fang. And if this is your favorite rod, I don't even know what to say about you. You have a little bit of aura because I'm not gonna lie, this is one of the coolest looking rods in the game. But you're just a guy who definitely likes fishing a lot and definitely a little bit of a no life because getting to level 750 is not an easy task. And speaking about not an easy task, if you have this next rod, you're genuinely a no life. All right, this rod costs 15 million credits. So yeah, if you have this rod, you've definitely spent more time than you should in Fish, and I'm definitely guilty of that. And speaking about guilty of that, if your favorite rod is the Seraphic rod, you probably really like the effect, and you also probably like going in servers and then spamming this watch it. You definitely like spamming that with mobile players around because they all lag out when it happens. But yeah, that was every rod. If I forgot your favorite rod, you're either an NPC or I genuinely forgot it. Let me know what you guys think in the comments. I'm gonna see you guys in the next one. Subscribe for more. Goodbye.